See you sucker soon on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day!
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go, there's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well, the sturdy kind that mustn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart.
Always good to have you on the show. I've got to move my chair a little bit so I can come over and talk to you. Thank you. Thanks for being on. Yeah, Mike Purcell is here. He was Entertainer of the Year, New York State Entertainer of the Year a few years back.
Oh, just a few years
Just
ago.
a few. We're not counting.
Ago, yeah.
No, not counting years anymore. We've got a great lineup besides Mike, and we're going to be singing a little bit and having a little fun there. We have our guests. Our first segment that we'll be speaking with is Julie Pankey. She was on last week talking about a different group, but she's talking about the community voice, Capital Community Voices, and whether she brought Phyllis Pulver, and we'll be talking with them. Then we have Philemon Yu, right? Is that correct? Yeah, and he's with the Gracious Chorus, and it's also the Christmas Cantata. It's a free event coming up at the Palace. Then we're going to be talking with Linda McFarland about the Community Loan Fund of the Capital Region and what they're doing to help train people. We're going to be talking with the Scheenctady Theater for Children and their spring workshop for kids, get them doing their costumes and everything else, learning how to do a production. Maybe Mike will figure out how to help them with their production, right?
Anything I can do to help.
There. And then we have Janice Walsh, who comes on to talk about Jan's wanderings, but this time we're going to be wandering through Proctor's and looking at some of their publications. Well, we've got a couple of guests here, Mike, so I'm going to start with them, and they're with music too.
I love it.
Love music, right? So we're going to be talking with the two of you. Julie, welcome back again. You were here last week.
Thank you.
And we're talking about the Capital Community Voices, and we have Phyllis Pulver. She's a composer. What's it take to compose something?
Oh, someone said, how long did it take you to write this piece? And I say, 70 years.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's life experience.
It's a life experience, yeah.
And some classical training.
Well, it's interesting, is sometimes you'll listen to these pop songs and they say, yeah, I wrote it on the back of an envelope while we were in the car. You know, it's like, how do you do that? But then they're like fleeting. But your music is a little bit.
I'm blessed to have muses looking after me and downloading songs.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So tell us a little bit about, you have an album too? Is that what you're, let's take a look at that album.
I do, and this is how Julie got to hear the song that they're going to be performing next Saturday.
Okay.
I had just started my first debut album, and
Is that all your music?
all my original songs.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes. So she heard the track, The Light of Christmas, and that was an inspiration.
Oh, and that's why
yes,
it's going to be included in this.
Right.
So-
And not only that, it inspired the whole theme for my Christmas concert.
Oh, okay, great.
So, lighting the season with song.
And I love that. I love the lighting the season with song. And that's on December the 17th, and it's going to be at the
December 21st.
21st.
Saturday,
What did I
December
say?
21st.
Today's date, you said the 17th.
Oh, I said the 17th. Is it 21st? Okay, I have the 17th here. It can't be the 17th. Today's the 17th.
We'd
I
be
don't
busy.
know, 21st. I'm sorry. Well, could be. I didn't type it in right. But anyway, and it's at the Jeanette Elementary School in East Greenbush. Is
Right.
that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and how do people get tickets to this, if they're going to get tickets?
They either know chorus members or we have plenty of tickets at the door.
Okay.
And
so they
most
can just
people
get
buy
a
them at the
ticket.
door.
And how long is the concert?
It'll be about an hour and a half.
Okay, and what music will they hear there?
They'll hear a whole range of traditional carol arrangements. They'll do a little bit of singing themselves.
Sing along, you mean?
With
my,
Christmas
that's nice.
carols, and they'll hear some pop items, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, traditional Christmas tunes.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's nice because these holiday concerts seem to kind of bring everything together, makes you
Right.
feel good, and it's not something you don't have to, wrap.
Right.
You can just
Right.
enjoy.
Yeah.
All right. So how did you find Phyllis? Did you just find the album, or?
Well, Phyllis has a group which meets at her house monthly for wonderful singing.
Okay, last week we talked about the Thursday musical club.
But
This is
Phyllis
a different one.
has a singer who is also a member of Capital Community Voices.
Oh, okay, all right.
So she introduced us,
Oh, okay.
and that's when I first heard Phyllis's music.
And so that she heard your music and then realized that, especially
heard
since
it.
you have this one song.
She heard a choral piece, my very first choral piece, A Call to Awaken, which Julie premiered for me with her festival celebration choir in May.
Oh, okay.
And while we were going over items pertaining to that, that's when Julie said,
Right.
do you have any
What
other
does
ones?
it feel like to hear music
Oh.
performed that was in your mind, and now it's being performed? What does that feel
It
like?
is no words really, but it's so humbling and so honoring, and to hear that coming back and knowing that these beautiful songs and messages are now going out and being heard, uplifting spirits, touching hearts. It's a thrill.
Well,
Absolutely,
it
it's
is.
my
And do
retirement
you do the
dream.
lyrics and the
Lyrics, music, orchestration, yes.
orchestration?
Orchestration as well, yes.
You know, I have to say, when I watched, Amadeus and listened to the music of Mozart, and wondered, when I listened to this composition, what goes on in your brain that can say, oh yeah, I like the oboes there, and I like the flutes there, and we'll put the violins in there. How does that happen? Do you hear it in your head?
I actually hear it, yes. The very first song, I was awakened at 2 in the morning, hearing a choir of 100 or 200 voices singing in my head, and I quickly wrote down, by the light of this watch, the lighted dial at 2 in the morning,
Get
the
out.
lyrics to A Call to Awaken, and 6 years later, to the date
Yeah.
that downloaded to me,
Okay.
Julie's choir performed that.
Isn't
But
that-
yes, I hear.
It's
I
pretty
hear all the voices.
miraculous.
And you are so involved in music. You
I
have
love
a,
music.
You have a broad background in music as well.
I have a fairly broad background just through working with talented people and
But your educational
studying
background as
piano
well, yeah.
and right.
So she's kind of grabbed onto this, and you're just taking it with you. And you're bringing such a gift. Now, last week you were on and we talked about the Thursday Musical Club, which is all women. The Capital Community Voices
Is a mixed group.
is a mixed group.
Yep. Soprano,
In your
alto,
group?
tenor, bass.
Mine is mixed, open to the public,
Oh, okay.
no sheet music, no musical abilities or background necessary. It's just a place for safe singing.
Yeah, how fun.
We
How
have
fun.
about 40 people, 30, 40 people each month for 20
out.
years. 20 years we've been doing this.
I applaud you women
Yes.
because you've taken a kind of a hobby. And I don't want to say hobby because music is not really a hobby, but you've taken an avocation and just carried it.
And a passion.
It's
love
a
it.
passion.
It's a passion. Yeah.
Yeah, I thank you so much for being here. We want to remind people it's December the 21st,
Yes.
and that's going to be at the Janae.
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 Janae, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the school. Janae Elementary School in East Greenbush. And it's an evening performance or an afternoon?
Yes, 7:30.
7:30 performance. They can get tickets at the door, and you'll be able to hear Phyllis Pulver's music. Will your albums be available?
I could bring some along, but the main thing is the
Capital
the
Community?
chorus
Yeah.
and the wonderful
But
job
we want to give you
Julie
a big
has done.
shout out because
Thank
anybody
you.
that creates is amazing.
You're sweet.
To me.
Thank
no,
you.
it's really, I mean.
Thank you.
And there's your
I'm-
album.
I'm quite pleased with this.
Okay. Oh, and you have a website,
I have a-
phyllispulver@gmail. Oh, no, that's your email.
A website will be available, and these are going on CD Baby and iTunes
Okay.
in January.
Okay, good.
Yes.
See, so you're getting it out there.
I'm getting it out there.
Okay, it's great.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you both for being here. We're going to go right back to Mike now, and we'll just a second. I'm going to get your mic off. And Mike, what are you going to play now?
Oh, a nice jazzy version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Okay, I think he is. Phil Yu with me, and he's with the and I want to get this right because you're the International Youth Fellowship USA.
Yes.
You're the program director of what?
Of the Christmas cantata.
Of the Christmas cantata
here in Albany.
in Albany,
Yeah.
Gracious Choir.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's the choral group that's coming to
Okay.
perform at the Palace Theater.
Yeah, this is amazing. You like this Christmas music, don't you, Mike?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. So Mike's getting ready for the next gig here. Though. So I was really amazed because I met two lovely women last week who stopped
Yes.
by, and they were telling me about this, and I'm going, this is an amazing production. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask Jan to bring up some of those photos because the photos will give you an idea of what you're going to see, but the most amazing is that it's a free event. Now tell us what we're looking at there.
Oh yes, this is the opening act from the second. This is the opening scene from the second act.
Okay.
Cantata is a 3-act performance.
Okay.
And so the second act is a musical based off of O. Henry's The Gift of the Magi.
Oh, The Gift of the Magi,
Yes,
yeah. That's a traditional.
It's a-
Look at that. The costumes are wonderful.
Yes, and that is from the first act. The first act is the Nativity, expressed in an opera style with.
There's the nativity right there.
Yes. And so those dancers that you saw in the picture before, they came out during the Herod's Palace, and they were the Herod's Palace dancers, and there's a dancing sequence there, and that's the Nativity, of course.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And I think there's one more. And what is that?
Oh, that's.
You even got Santa Claus in there, huh?
Oh yes, that's picture from the second act again, The Gift of the Magi musical.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
it discusses about the power of family.
Uh-huh.
And so there's a young boy that is going through having some difficulties in his family, and it's because his dad's always working all the time. And so his dad's name is Jim, and then how he met his wife Della was through the same kind of story that O. Henry wrote. So they kind of gave The Gift of the Magi a musical twist,
Oh,
and
nice.
it's a very beautiful, beautiful performance.
And you perform, they perform, now look at that. And that's amazing. Now this is a free event, guys. Free event. Can you even imagine that?
Yes, so the Gracious Choir, they're a 150-man member
Uh-huh.
choir and orchestra troupe. And then so there's a full
Where do they
orchestra.
come from?
Oh, they're based out of South Korea.
Yeah, because the two ladies that were here last week
Yes,
were
yes.
from South Korea.
Yes, they were. And
Yeah.
and so they were founded in the year 2000, and then so they before they were just a very small church choir, and so but then the founding pastor who founded the choral group, he told them in the year 2000 that if you sing for the sake of other people, then you're gonna become the very best. And so they took that as a challenge and a promise, and they started to work really hard. They are trained predominantly in Russia.
Okay.
But there's a conservatory in Russia called St. Petersburg Conservatory.
Okay.
And a lot of really world-class musicians graduate from that
It
conservatory.
has a wonderful reputation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the conductor there is named Boris Abalian.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the honored musicians in Russia, and he has something called perfect pitch. And so, for example,
Which is unusual.
yeah, it's only like 10 people in the whole world have something like this. It's something in the musical classical world that they talk about. So he can hear cycles of music. So the note do, I believe it's 443 cycles.
Yeah,
And so-
because music is
vibrations. Right?
Vibrations, right.
And so the thing is, if I were to hear it, if it's 445 cycles or 442, I wouldn't know the difference. But he can tell if something's 442, 443, or 444.
Can you even imagine
No, I
that?
cannot
Oh my-
imagine that.
Oh my God.
So the first month he was with the choir, they practiced one note, 12 hours a day, the whole month.
One note.
Yes, do. He said he would press on the piano, sing do, and then they would sing do, and he's like, that's
No,
not do.
I got
Yeah.
442. I'm on
Yes,
445.
Exactly, the whole month. And so that's how he started teaching the choir, and that's from the very basics. And then after 15 years,
They got to Ray.
excuse me?
Do, Ray.
Yeah, they got the. Hopefully, they got the Ray. Yeah. After 10 years, they might have got the Ray. but eventually, in 2015, they toured Europe. They went to international musical choral competitions where they won first place in Italy, Switzerland, and then they went to the Mark Toberdorf chamber choral competition in Germany, which is like the Super Bowl of chamber choral competitions, where they won first place. Now ranking them the #1 chamber choir in the world. And so, you know,
how exciting that
Yes.
you got them here.
yes, and so yeah, this is their first time coming to upstate New York. They tour the U.S. With their Christmas cantata performance. So this year they toured 28 cities in 31 days. So they performed at the Fox Theater in Detroit, for example, the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, the Amway Center in Orlando, where the Orlando Magic, the NBA team, play. And so they, in very big arenas, they performed, and it's all was for free. And so this is
They're just bringing music.
yes, yes, and so they perform a lot for youth events across the world. They go international. They go to around 40 countries a year, and they sing for young people because their philosophy, their motto of their music program is called "Music is Change." So music has the power to calm the aggressive, the energetic hearts of the young people, and gives them a time of clarity of thought for them to, be able to talk with each other and be able to,
Brings people
bring
together.
people together. And so music is the universal language. So even though young people around the world might not be able to speak the same language, when they hear the music from the Gracious Choir, they all bond, and it's above just language or race. I mean, music is what really brings us together. We all understand music.
We do. It's interesting you say that, Phil, is that we had someone on from, actually on this stage was Tommy Sands, who is a performer from England, or Ireland. And they had the North and the South, and they didn't,
Yes.
the Catholics and the Protestant thingy that
Yes,
they have their fighting. And they were singing, and all of a sudden, they all came together.
Oh, that's great.
And it was, and he said, when he tells the story, how amazing it was to feel that even though these people were in conflict,
Yes,
they
yes.
could come together with the music and smile at each other and be one.
Yeah, that's an inspiring story.
Yeah, it is.
Thank
Isn't
you
it
for
great
telling me.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Yes, yes.
And it was told right here on the stage
Yes.
here. Yeah, so, and I did hear it. But it's. I think what you say is so true. And of course, there's that famous story of World War II when on Christmas Eve, the Germans and the Americans both sang Christmas carols together.
Oh, I didn't know. I never
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
that story before.
it's a true story that they were in the foxholes and
Wow.
they started singing, and the Germans and the Americans both were singing.
Wow, that's great.
And then they probably shot each other afterwards. I don't know. I don't know. I don't repeat that. I don't know that happened. Hopefully, it had a different outcome.
Yes, 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 definitely.
We would hope so. But they come and they do all of this for free. That's the amazing thing to me.
Yes.
And that's going to be on January the 5th at Proctor's, at the Palace.
Yes, at the Palace Theater. So we right now we're inviting everyone in the Capital District to come out.
Well,
And-
they aren't all going to fit.
Oh yes, hopefully the people that really want to come, they're able to come. They get a seat at
Yeah,
the Palace
good.
Theater. And
Do they have to get tickets?
Oh yes, there's tickets. Yeah. If you
To
go on
be
the-
assured of a seat, you need a ticket.
Yes, you need a ticket. It's free. It's just
Yeah.
you need a ticket to enter, and so that's on the website. Or there's a phone number they can also call to
Okay.
talk to somebody.
Well, we had two websites that I received. One was the Gracious Choir,
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
one is the Christmas Cantata, which would be the best for them to go to.
Oh yes, the Gracious Choir website is just if they want to learn more about the choir.
Okay.
And find out what kind of projects they're up to.
Okay.
But the ChristmasCantata.us, that's where you can get tickets
Okay.
to the Palace.
Okay.
And then the reason why the choir is doing for free is kind of aligning with my organization, which is
The
the
International Youth Fellowship, yeah.
We do, our biggest thing is mental health awareness, advocacy, and mental health counseling.
Okay.
Especially with young people.
Okay.
And our base is in Manhattan. And then, when we're in Harlem, Manhattan, and when we work with youth there, we don't try to tell them, don't do this, don't do that. We want to provide an alternative. And so, in other words, kind of plant a dream that's
Okay.
bigger than their environment. So, if I told some young person, oh, stop selling drugs,
Yeah,
it's,
right,
it's very
yeah.
beneficial
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that person. That's why he or she is
That's
doing
the
it.
outcome you want.
Yes, yes.
That's the outcome
yeah.
you want. But you may not have, can't maybe go directly there.
Yes, and so the environment tells the student, this is how you should live, and this is beneficial. But if we're able to show the students a bigger, better world that's out there, and then they're able to have that inspiration, aspiration, then you don't have to tell them those things anymore because they're going to naturally just
They see it.
Yeah, chase after that dream, pursue after that dream. And so through the performing arts, we really do believe that when students see this performance or like performance like these, they can start dreaming and have a greater aspiration.
They're
Be inspired. And the best part, because it's free, a lot of underprivileged families get to take their whole family to it. And so
Yeah, because they could not afford it usually.
Exactly.
If you're
yeah.
looking at a $50 ticket to something like it, and
Yeah.
a show like this, I would expect would be a $50 ticket.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
because it's amazing what
Yes,
you're
yes.
doing.
Yes, and
Yeah.
yeah, I hope you're there.
Yeah, I hope to get there. Yeah, it's the 5th. I think I might be able to make that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the important thing is that we want to encourage people to. I mean, think about this. You've got a group that was trained in Russia
Yes.
at one of the biggest conservatories in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
They've won competitions in Germany and wherever they've been probably, and they're here.
Yes.
Is that amazing?
Yes, it's very amazing.
Yeah. Now, how do they recruit their choir?
Also, some of the choir members, they have a really amazing story. Like when the choir first started, as I said, they were just a very, very small 10-member church choir. So one choir member, he was a bus driver, right? And then one choir member, he just was a facility manager, so he would just like wake up in the morning and walk around the facility, feed the dog in the yard.
Yeah.
That's the kind of people they were. But
Yeah.
then through the training, they became the world's best.
Yeah.
And so, they have a great story to tell. And then, so they picked up some members across the years. They had Julio Gonzalez is one of the
Oh my gosh.
tenors.
Oh
He's
my
from
God.
Mexico.
Oh my, yeah, I know.
They picked him up from Mexico, and he joined the choir. And they're all volunteers. They
Yeah.
do this all nonprofit. And then there's a guy named Douglas. He's from Ghana. He's one of the lead bassists for the choir now. And so they did pick up some members around the years, and they all have a fantastic story.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, you're such an inspiration.
Oh, I mean, not me. They
yeah,
are.
no,
I'm
you
just
are
here
too.
to.
For when I hear what you do in Manhattan and Harlem, that's an inspirational story, and I love what you do.
Yes, thank
I'm
you.
going to learn more about you. I'm going to have to look this up
Yes, yes.
to find out more about the International Youth Fellowship and what you do.
Yes, yes.
But we want to encourage people to get their tickets and they can go to your website to sign up for those tickets.
Yes.
They are free. It's on January the 5th,
Yes.
and it is at
7 p.m.
7 p.m. at the Palace, big theater.
Yes,
so
yes.
thanks so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. We'll get your mic off, and I'm going to go over to Mike over here. We got 2 mics here. Mic off, and Mike, what are you going to do now?
Oh, well, I got here and it was snowing out.
It was.
Oh, yeah. They're saying 3 to 6 inches.
That's what they say.
Yeah. So I thought maybe it might be fun to have you join in and play along with me a little
Sure,
bit.
absolutely.
There you go.
Got my hat.
And of course, we can include your guest as well.
Would you like to sing along too? Of course.
I gave her, well, she doesn't have to, she'll play along. I gave
You're
her an
going to
elf.
be the elf. You're going to be the elf.
I'll be the elf.
Linda's going to be the elf. Okay, let's see what I can do.
Oh, yeah, we'll get that going in a second.
Yeah, we're working
I'll
at it.
start
She's
and then I'll
putting her
hand you an
hat on.
instrument. Snowman in the yard is frozen hard. He's a sorry sight to see.
Good. You look
If
cute.
he had a brain, he'd complain. I bet he wishes he were me. The weather outside is frightful. The fire is so delightful. And since we no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Here, I'll give you one instrument to play. Just to get solid time. That's good. And I bought some corn for Pop. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbye. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let me hear from the Santa Band. Here we go. This is kind of a fun thing to do at holiday parties. Doesn't matter your age. We're all kids at heart at Christmas time. When we finally kiss goodnight, How I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, take a solo. All the while I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear was still goodbye. And as long as you love me so, your turn.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
There we go.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't think we're going to make it to the Ed Sullivan Show. Remember that? Oh my God. You had to be really good to be on
That was
that
fun.
show. Yep, whoops, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you very much for
yeah, well,
taking
thank
part
you
in
for keeping us going.
in the
And-
orchestra.
and I had to think about the words to that. And yet, if I didn't have to say them out loud, I probably would have known them right in my head.
Certainly.
But right now, I have Linda McFarland with me, and she is with the Capital Region Community Loan Fund, or Community Loan Fund of the Capital Region. And you're listening to us on WOOC FM. That's 10. I'm sorry, I forgot the call letters. I'm sorry. And 105.3, I think it is. Oh, my mic is so off. Story of my life. Anyway, you're listening to us, but we are filming at the Addy Theater at Proctor's in Schenectady. We're going to be talking about a training program that Linda McFarland, who is the executive director, is working on. So tell us a little bit about that, Linda.
Thank you. We have developed an online training program through a very generous grant from JP Morgan Chase. And what we are doing with that program is business planning and business development. We provide a lot of workshops and training one-on-one at our organization. And we have found that the times of the classes aren't always convenient for folks who are interested in the training. And there may be transportation issues, there may be childcare issues, so they can't always get to us for the training that they so need to start a business or further their business to make it successful.
So this is business oriented. If
It
you want
is
to start
business
a
oriented.
home business, or whether you want to start a brick and mortar business,
Correct.
this is the Community Loan Fund of the Capital Region is the place to go. And what you cover the entire area, is that correct?
We do. We cover 11 counties surrounding the Capital Region.
So people
Yes.
that are listening to this, the Mohawk Hudson Magazine radio show might be included in
They
this
are
as well.
absolutely included.
That's at
Yes.
105.3.
Yes.
So this online program, is there a charge for it?
It is free.
Oh,
it is
it's a
free.
free program.
It is free. So as we're here talking a little bit about the holiday season, it's a nice time to give a gift to yourself,
Yeah.
furthering your education.
So when, say I sign up for this program, and do I have to have an idea in mind, or is this going to kind of tell me the pitfalls of owning a business, or is this going to help me further my vision of starting a flower shop, for instance?
We have a variety of courses. So the very first one is Business Basics, and it talks to you about what it means to own your own business. But as you are progressing your business, or you may be a little bit further along and want to take your business to the next stage, there are courses designed for that as well. So it really depends on where you are.
Okay, so the first step would be learning about business in general.
Yes.
Knowing that you have to pay taxes, that if you have employees, what you have to do, and what is, all the forms that you need to do a 1099 if a person is operating on their own.
Sure.
Then from there, suppose now I have the vision. Does this community loan fund give me the money?
You can apply for money.
Okay.
We are not able to grant funds. We are able to make loans. So yes, you can certainly apply for a loan. And what we do through the lending process is we focus on loans to minority and women-owned startup businesses. Most of the
They
time,
need that little boost.
They absolutely need that little boost. And startup businesses are risky, so it is much harder for people starting a business to get traditional bank financing. And as much as we would hope differently, it is still harder for women to get loans, business loans, than it is male counterparts for the same type of business.
Isn't that interesting?
It is very interesting,
Yeah,
yes,
because
and we're
it's
trying
like,
to change
well, do you have a
that.
cosigner? You're a woman. Don't you need a cosigner or something?
Yes, yes, that's we don't ask that, but it is still asked.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. And I mean, without realizing that women have their own funds, or they have their own abilities to get funds or whatever.
Certainly.
And I know at one time I applied for an SBA loan, and I got it, but I was with my husband at the time. But we were able to get that. The timer's off, by the way. Okay, sorry. We're talking with Linda McFarland, and she is with the Community Loan Fund of the Capital Region. Okay, I want to get that all in. So so they can go online and take these courses. Do they apply to take it? I mean, do you just go online and do it?
You can just go online and take them. There's basic information asking about your name, about your address, some demographic information that, because we received a grant, we're required to report on,
Sure,
on,
yeah,
on types of information, who's taking the class. And
Yeah.
then at the end of the
and
program,
what the results are? of
Right,
that.
right.
Do they complete the class?
Yes. And so there are quizzes along the way, there are tutorials, and there are always people have questions. So you can certainly always email the question in, or you can call us, and we will respond and answer your questions, which is nice to have that one-on-one. And we offer one-on-one counseling free of charge as well, either in person or over the phone.
How do you get your funds?
We have investors in the Community Loan Fund. I'd like to say we were started, this is true, we were started by a group of nuns who saw an inequality in housing. And
Really?
Yes, 34 years ago
no
was our first
idea.
investment, yes. So we have investments from individuals where we pay interest on the investment, and you can invest for a year or longer. We have some investments that have been with us indeed for 34 years.
So in order to get the loan, you have to have an investor to have that money available. Is that it?
Well,
Or do you
they're
direct them
separate.
to banks? or
No,
what?
they're separate. So our investment, we get investments from financial institutions who get CRA credit for that. We have businesses, we have faith-based organizations and individuals, and we also apply for grants for lending capital. We pool all of that lending capital together, and when individuals come in and request a business loan, we use money from the pool. So you don't have to come in saying, you know, I need to find an investor to
okay.
match this. No,
So
we do that part of
you
it.
do the work.
You come in, you focus on your business. And we walk you through the application process. We make sure that the individual who is applying for a loan is really ready for the loan. We don't want to give someone a loan when
they're
that
gonna
isn't
fail.
right, when that isn't the best option for them.
Yeah, they need
So
to know
we
that
talk them
what
through.
whether you have the skills to move on. Because they say when you go into business, and I know when I went into business, it's like you need at least a year's salary that you would normally have got in the bank, because something's going to go wrong.
And things do go wrong.
Yeah.
We had a pizza shop that a few months after he opened, they were doing construction on the road and blocked access to his
Sure.
pizza shop. So
It
these,
was
these
not
things
fault
happen.
of his own.
No fault of his own. These things happen.
Right. And if you're listening to us on WOC FM, I want to tell you what their website is, because you can't see it on our screen here. And it's www.mycommunityloanfund.org.
Correct.
I'll repeat that one more time. That's www.mycommunityloanfund.org. And you can go there wherever you are in the capital region and within 10 counties. I believe you said 10 counties. Jan.
11.
11 counties. You'll be able to take these courses online and find out if you are ready to start a business. Linda McFarland, who's the executive director, will certainly be able to, if she can't answer your question, somebody else in the office will definitely answer your
Absolutely.
question. But we want to get you to be fiscally responsible and fiscally successful, right?
Certainly we do. We focus on sustainable community development. So as you're walking around your neighborhood or your community, what are the businesses that you see, or what are the businesses that you wish you saw?
You wish you saw.
And those are the types of businesses that we are interested in
Right.
financing.
And I know with Scheenctady, with all its development now, I mean, in a lot of housing, a lot of apartments, now they're saying, well, there's more need for more local, so people don't have to own a car. They can walk to work. They can
Certainly.
do their shopping, do whatever they need, and that's important.
It is very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, we want successful. Small business. We just had a small business Saturday where we encourage
Yes.
people to purchase from a small business. We want to remind you, and I read a statistic. I'll just say this quickly, that I think it was 9,100 and some odd stores were closing this coming year due to online shopping, which means that if every one of those stores averages out to, say, 20 employees, all those employees are gone.
Yes.
And we're not talking about, mom and pop shops. We're talking about the big stores.
Certainly.
We're talking about Kmart and Sears and all of those. So the small businesses really can succeed.
They certainly can. What happens with a business within a community is people want to go and shop there. They want to support that. So it employs people in the community, and it keeps the financial resources, and it just keeps turning
about
over.
60% of the money stays in the community.
It certainly does.
Yeah, at least that does. because they have to buy product, I'm sure, and that's where it
Certainly.
goes out of the community. Well, we're speaking with Linda McFarland, and you're listening to us on WOC-FM, but you're also watching us on Schenectady Capital Region Today, and we're here every week bringing great guests to you. So either watch us on our YouTube channel or listen to us on WOC-FM. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Let's
I always enjoyed Liberace, so I kind of imitated his style on this sort of thing.
Oh, Mike, that was absolutely beautiful, but you don't have a place for a candelabra.
Nah, it'd probably fall off the
It
edge.
would might fall off there. But you do, that was a beautiful rendition.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
little, obviously it's a variation on a theme, and it's one of the most beautiful songs, obviously, for the holiday season.
I think we all love that. You know, it's just such a beautiful song that time of year. And I love what you did with it. And I mean, you mentioned Liberace, but
Oh,
no.
I was
yeah.
different influences, but I
Yeah.
was like his flamboyantness. That's why I guess why I wear my red
Yeah,
jacket.
Yeah, well, it's not sparkly enough. Come on, Mike. You need something a little bit more sparkly if you're going to be
Okay.
a Liberace guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He was an amazing pianist. He really was. I really enjoyed watching him. And we've talked with Mike before about his family, and you come from a musical family as well.
Yep, very much so. Grew up in a big family, 8 kids, 5 adults, 8 kids in one big old house on State Street growing up. And my grandmother, my grandmother's brother, my mother, my father, this lady who lived with us who wasn't related but didn't matter, she was part of the family. And there was 8 kids, and we were all, everybody played and sang and did things, you know. My grandmother played the piano till she was 92, and my dad played the piano. He was a doctor. He was always practicing the piano.
Yeah.
And my older brother and sisters all playing, and me in the middle, kind of like, you know, I'm like a sponge. I picked it all up, and I
it
really,
all.
it was great.
Well, we were talking with Phil from the International Youth Fellowship and about how music brings people together. It certainly cements a family together as well.
It does. Well, music is the universal language.
Yeah,
Everyone knows that, and that's why it brings people together.
yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Mike. We'll hear from you again. But right now, I'm going to go over. Did you see these guys over here?
I did.
What do they got here? Look at that. I mean, I know you're a puppet man, too.
Well, I occasionally, I've never seen a puppet quite like that before. That's pretty amazing.
Yes, we have our guests here from the Schenectady Theater for Children. Tell us a little bit about that puppet, because that seems to be the star of the show right now.
This is Doozy. Yeah, she always gets a lot of attention.
Ron Miller is with us. He's the director.
Yes, and I think instead of her, there'll be some of her cousins are going to be performing during our winter workshop. With
So
Schenectady
you're
Theater for
having a
Children.
winter workshop for kids.
For Kids, yes.
Because you are a theater for children, but
Schenectady
you
Theater.
you also encourage children.
We always want an open space for children to get that voice out there. I know that at school you have to public speak. It gets a little nervous. And for us, we're here for the community. We're non-for-profit.
You're located over at Viaport, is that
And
correct?
yes, we are in the Viaport Mall. We're over by the Bath and Body Works and over by where the state has moved in on that side of the mall. And we have a lot of opportunities for kids to come and perform with us this year. Our next event coming up is our open mic, and it's January 17th.
January 17th, mark that down.
And that's a Friday. That's Martin Luther King
Oh,
weekend.
that's right, it's a Monday, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Friday. It's
Oh, it's a Friday, I'm
It's that
sorry.
Friday before. It's that weekend.
Yeah, okay.
That 4-day
Martin
weekend.
Luther King Day is
Yeah.
on a Monday, yeah.
It would be that long weekend.
That long weekend, okay.
And it's that Friday. It's the 17th, and it's in the evening. It's 6 to 9, and it's any age. We used to have just children come on, and it's free, and you just have to call and
Arrange for your
let us
time.
know. You can visit our website, stcny.org,
Okay.
and you can call us and let us know, hey, my name is Ann, and I'm going to sing Let It Go.
Let it go. From
And-
Frozen.
From Frozen. And, or you can dance. We actually have a young man who's a contortionist.
Oh, get out.
He's double jointed in his shoulders and his arms, and he's able to take his arms and go over his head, behind his back, and then step through his arms and have them up in front of him. And I
That's
saw,
spooky.
and he approached me, and he's 8 years old, and he asked me.
He's only 8
He's
years
only
old.
8
He's a
years old.
contortionist. That's why he can do it, because he's got, his bones are very flexible.
And this is free to come see, free to be in at any age, and that's our next event.
Do you do it inside or do you do it in the lobby there?
So we do it inside our studio.
Okay.
And we set up a stage. We have a brand new sound system, and we're just so ready. We want some MCs, any kid that wants to, or adult that wants to volunteer. We did have special needs adults come in, perform with us as well, and it's an open mic. It's-
Great. And what is the Blacklight Theater?
So Blacklight Theater is our next theater camp. It's when kids will be off from school. They'll have a break. And Ron is a Blacklight Theater specialist.
Well, tell us about that, Ron.
Well, actually, I represent Idolin Theater. The last several years, I've been producing and promoting blacklight theater events with community groups and dance studios, and I've been teaching a summer workshop at Schenectady County Community College. And this year, for Schenectady Theater for Children, for their Halloween haunt, we
You
turned
did a
that
fabulous
into,
job for that.
We did. Oh, you were there.
No, but I
Oh,
heard
but you
about
heard
it.
about
I
it.
wanted to get there.
We turned it into a fabulous blacklighted experience. And
That was a
it
hotel, the haunted hotel.
The haunted hotel.
That's
That's right.
The Grand Victoria, yes.
Yes.
And the kids, they populated the entire experience, and they were incredible. They brought incredible energy into it, and it was a fun experience. It was a great family
well,
experience.
and the one I heard, I had a friend that went, and she's an adult. She said it was amazing. She said she thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, we did some. We had a chance to do some really great special effects. You know, it was.
And you kind of did it like if they were real small, you toned it down and raised
Yes.
it up if you had
Right.
to. Yeah.
We weren't in it for guts and gore and
Yeah,
gore.
yeah.
It was a different kind of experience.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So-
Do you have members for? Yeah, you got a name for that?
For the blacklight.
No, you got a name for this guy.
This is Doozy.
Doozy. Hi, Doozy. Oh, ouch,
And
ouch.
what's the camp called, Ron?
And the camp. What we really want to talk about is the winter camp.
Yes.
We're doing what we're calling it the Electric City Vaudeville at Viaport. It's a variety show. Oh yes, so that's going to give us a chance to do, to get our fingers and toes into lots of different themes. There's going to be dance and music and puppets and costumes and clowning. We're going to get sentimental. We're going to get, overly enthusiastic. We're going to fracture a fairy tale or two. Yes,
Fractured fairy tales. Don't you just love those? The only thing better is fractured Shakespeare, I
And if
think.
you sign
Yes.
up, and if you sign up for the camp with us before January 15th, you get a discounted rate
Okay.
for signing on.
So sign up early.
So sign up early.
Go to their website,
get-
stcny.org.
stcny.org.
Okay,
And
good.
that's Schenectady Theater for Children, New York.
Right.
.org.
But come and sign up. And you know, one of the things that we've talked about how music brings people together, and theater does, and the arts do. This is one way to get your kid immersed in it. To me, you've got to start them early,
Yes.
because it's as they get older, it's like, oh, that's so queer. I do, you know, they could do one of those
And
things.
what are the ages that we're accepting for the Blacklight Theater?
Elementary through high school.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you find that, and I've had these little kids on my show, and they come on, and you go, and they're like, 8 years old, and they go, oh, I love doing this. This is my 4th production, and they're just going, and
Yeah.
it's like, yo, way, go.
And we try to turn this into a creative outlet for the
Yeah,
kids,
yeah.
because they have input also into the production and the
So
staging
it gives them
and
something
the performance.
to
Of
feel
course,
that
yeah.
they've done.
Yes.
I love what you do.
They
I
take a
really-
hand in learning illusion arts for Blacklight Theater, and finding their own style of performing, and they're given a lot of independence.
Yeah, well, every director has, and you're a director, you have to you read your crew or cast, whatever it is, and give them, because you may learn something from those.
But it's really for them to extend
Yeah.
themselves, to
Well, I mean, you
push themselves
you learn how they
in a
develop. Is
direction.
what I'm saying, is how you can get
Right.
the kids to develop.
And with this open mic that we're having, it's free for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's free for any age to come and see it.
And that's
to
the
be in it.
17th
And that's the 17th
It's a
of
Friday.
January. It's a Friday.
Okay, good.
And it's Friday evening, and it's just open
Come
to
and
any
enjoy
age.
it. Come and enjoy it. Yeah.
You can be 99 and come and perform for all of us, and we're just excited to have you there.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I hope that you do turn out for it. It's a free event. Come and join them. It's at the Viaport, which over in Rotterdam, and we've been talking with Julie Jaster and also Ron Miller, and who is the director, and he's going to be there probably and helping people, right? Check it out. And
Maybe Doozy
your
will come
friend
too.
Your friend may show up too. Okay, thank you both for being here, and we're going to take another talk to Mike again, and then when we come back, we're going to be finding out about, we talk about theater and everything. Think about Proctor's being in 1926, and here we are looking back, and one of the flyers that I saw was lunch, 60 cents. I go, whoa, 60 cents? You can't even buy a
And
Coke for
the
that
Schenectady
now.
Theater for Children was established when Sesame Street came out.
Really?
Yeah, we're 53 years old.
Yeah, Dee Mulford worked very hard at that as
yes,
well.
she's still a part of us.
I know she is. She's an
Yeah.
advisor, I believe. Yeah.
She's our grant writer.
Yeah. Fabulous. So thank you both for being here. We'll get your mics off, and Jan will be back here. And I don't know, we might even be able to get Jan to sing. Who knows? Jan's got a good voice. Did you
Really?
know? Yep, she got a very good voice. Come
Oh.
on over, Jan.
53 years old. How'd you know how old I was?
And who is that? My gosh, we got
I'm
from
Kermit the
Kermit.
Frog. Yeah. Hi, Doozy. It's good to see you. As one
Great.
puppet to another.
One puppet to another, absolutely. Okay, we're going to hear something from Kermit here.
My traditional song.
Okay, let's go.
I'll have a green Christmas without you.
Wait a minute. It's blue.
I'll have a green Christmas without you.
I said it's blue.
Oh. Decorations of blue
No, red.
on a red Christmas tree.
No, green.
Make up your mind. Won't mean a thing, dear, if you're not here with me. I'll have a green Christmas, that's certain.
It's not supposed to be green, you know.
And when that green heartache starts hurt,
It's supposed to be blue.
you'll be doing all right with your Christmas of
Just a second.
white.
You got it right, yeah.
But I'll have a green
Blue.
Christmas.
Okay, how do you like that? Yeah. Jan, would you like to sing a little Christmassy?
Well,
I know you haven't planned it, but
No, well, one of the things, okay, so as you know, because I had talked about it, I just got done doing the Mr. Scrooge, the family musical here. And so what I need to do right now is to spend this week deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Troll we now our merry mesh, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la.
totally unrehearsed.
Yeah,
Very
that's my
good.
alto voice, you know.
No, that was
But
great.
yeah, that's what I've got to do now. I got to finish decorating my house because it's wonderful fun to participate in a Christmas holiday show, but it puts a crimp in your style of getting everything else done. But you know, I have to laugh because you just had Schenectady Theater for Children on, and the first 7 years that I was in the area, I did some things, and I played the king in Puss in Boots.
Oh, Puss in Boots, they did
yes,
that for years.
because
yeah.
I was tall and I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
make my voice go low, so I got to, which
And
is
you
wonderful.
traveled.
You traveled to the schools.
Yeah, that was
and
great.
that is marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. And I've looked at other shows, but I travel myself overseas, so I can't do that anymore.
Right.
But today, my wanderings take me to Proctor's, and we'll show some things from Proctor's in a bit. But I love it because it's Proctor's historical committee that I'm on. And when people think history, they always think long ago, far away kind of thing. But history is made every single day.
Every day.
But I loved it. Just the other day in the Gazette, they had an article about 1933, a Proctor's show. 1930s.
And they started in
were
1926,
It
so
started
it was
in
just-
1926, so
Yeah.
it's fairly soon. And actually, the owner and the developer of Proctor's, F.F. Proctor, by this time had sold it to the RKO Theater Group. But that was the Depression, and he continued the kind of service to the community that F.F. Proctor had started. Proctor used to say, drop your kids off, we'll feed them breakfast and lunch, you go shopping, you know. And so during...
Smart businessman.
Oh, he was. He was a very, well, you don't get to be manager and owner, proprietor of over 50 theaters in your lifetime unless you're a good manager.
I wonder how many of them are still standing. It'd be
Well, we know not too many,
Yeah,
and I'll talk
We
about
almost
that
lost this
later.
one, yeah.
We almost lost this one, of course, in the 70s. But so here you have history that comes back and reminds you that there's always opportunities to give back to the community, to support the community. This was during the Depression, and they handed out clothing at their
I
show.
did not know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually
So
it was
that
dishes and stuff. you know.
Right. I mean, he promoted dishes and stamps and little spoons and all kinds of good stuff. But one of the things I wanted to mention today is more and more of us are cleaning out houses and downsizing, and it is amazing what people come up with and they find. And so earlier, a person was cleaning out their house, and I think I have a photo of Proctor's signature, and it was actually the very first program, and it talks about the opening of Proctor's in 1926. But this is the only known signature of Proctor's that we know about. And this, the signature and this letter from the mayor Blessing, Alexander Blessing at the time, saying what a wonderful theater you had, things like this. This was found by someone cleaning out their house. So when you're cleaning out their house and you happen to find something interesting that you think, Oh, I don't know who would like
Oh,
that.
yeah, just
you
let
know.
him well,
Well, before you throw it out, you might,
it
if
out.
it has something to do with downtown Schenectady, Proctor's Theater, please come and contact Proctor's.
and it may be something as simple as somebody lining a drawer.
Oh, yes, the
With-
old
with the
newspapers and
newspapers
things.
and-
And in fact, again, I brought in some pictures of the some of the program
Yeah,
sheets.
I think that they showed a couple earlier.
And
yeah.
so when we talked about
The Wedgeway, I know that.
Yes.
Well, there's the Hudson.
this is the Hudson, and these were theaters that were in Schenectady.
There were a lot of theaters.
A lot of them, and in fact, the Historical Society had put together a whole presentation, a whole exhibit on former theaters of Schenectady because so many, almost
Every
all of them.
neighborhood had a theater.
Every neighborhood had them. I mean, this was the time of vaudeville. This was the time of silent movies, and you had local theaters all over the place. And then all of a sudden, they're all gone.
I know.
And as you said, we almost lost theater, Proctor's Theater. Now, later on, at the end of December, and you can go on the Proctor's movie schedule for this at proctors.org, they're actually going to have a documentary about theaters in the area
Oh, that's
that are
great.
no longer
yeah,
here.
that are no longer here.
But again, if you're interested in participating and organizing and putting in the display windows, we can always use some new members. And one of the things that we do as a committee member is to open the museum. And there is a museum on the second floor.
During Broadway shows, you could go in there.
Especially Broadway shows, but we try to have it covered during most shows. And we could use a few extra people. But you get to, it's easier than ushering, but you do have to learn something about the history of Proctor's. But again, you can find out about us at proctors.org. And we're always looking for docents to come in. And it's so interesting to learn about the history of Proctor's because that is Schenectady's history.
And you can always email me because I can always pass it on to Jan and let her know. I got to
Absolutely.
tell you who's coming on.
Yep.
For the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing our, I don't want to say best of, but a review of 2019. And so we did a thanks to Katie, who put this together from Open Stage Media. Thank you so much, Katie, for doing this. We're going to have the Beekman Boys, Joy Bennett, Adam Bornt with his exotic animals, Tanya Deptola from the Russian, Malcolm Kogot, Bill Monroe from the Scottish. We got Byron Nelson performing, Peter Plord, John Roberts, folk singer international performing, Madison Vandenberg. We have an artist from Russia. We got a great lineup. It's going to be quick and fast, and you're going to enjoy it and have a great time with it. So we hope that you'll do that. So I think I'm going to ask Mike to take us out. How's that?
Yes,
Does it
and
sound
we'll
good?
sing
Okay.
along if we
We'll
know
sing
it,
along
huh?
if we know it.
Where would you like to go? We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas
and a Happy New Year. Tidings to you wherever you go. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We all like our plummy puddings. What is it?
Oh, you want me to do that first?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
If you know the words.
We all want some figgy pudding.
We all want some figgy pudding.
We
all want some figgy pudding. So bring it right here.
Good
Tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
tidings.